There's a disease going around right now that is literally spreading like wildfire and nobody seems to be talking about it. It's called shiny object syndrome. What do I mean by shiny object syndrome? It's 2023, 2024, and it is seemingly really easy to start a business that makes tens of thousands of dollars online, right?
Did you know that you can make $700 a day?
Currently, if you open up your phone and watch YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or any of the other apps, you're going to see thousands and thousands of different ways and methods and tips and tricks on how you can build your first online business that is making $10,000, $20,000 per month. Despite what you believe, what most of these coaches and gurus and online folks are talking about is true. These are actually plausible ways for you to go out and make your first couple $1,000s a month, first $10,000 a month with an online business. But the fact is nobody is talking about building long-term wealth. In the age of online information, making money on your phone and going on the computer and selling pictures of yourself to make money, there has never been an easier time to make your first couple $1,000s. But the fact is, there has never been a harder time to start building long-term wealth, and nobody is talking about it. This is a topic that I'm passionate about because I, once upon a time, was in the shoes of the person that was making a couple $1,000s, but not focusing on long-term wealth. And since then, I've built a portfolio of assets that pays me passively every single month so that literally I could retire today. This is a topic that I see very few people talking about online, and as I dive in deeper, it may piss some of you off. In today's video, I will be revealing the truth about the money-making space online and the harmful messages that are being pushed that are keeping you from reaching your long-term goals of building wealth. Now, I've been in the money-making space for well over 10 years. I'm 26 years old now. I started my first eBay store when I was literally in middle school, and since then I've made money online every step of the way. Some of them have been good and some of them have been bad, but I've seen business models come and go. I've seen Tai Lopez come and go. There's been eBay, there's been drop shipping, there's been Chinese wholesale, there has been affiliate marketing, there has been Airbnb, you name it. I've been around the block and I've seen it. And the fact is, and why this is so confusing, is people have made and are still making legitimate, serious money, serious income doing these types of businesses. But the problem is it becomes really, really difficult now that we have so many different ways to consume content all day that we're trying to decide which direction we want to go down. I can tell you from my experience, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars in just the last year or 2 years on mentors, on mentorships, on programs, and over my lifetime, well over $100,000 on coaching, on mentorships, on courses, on digital assets, anything that could teach me how to do whatever I wanted to learn how to do. And most of the times I failed at doing these things, or I didn't follow through, or I never watched the program, or I couldn't make it happen for some reason. And I thought, maybe this business thing isn't for me. Maybe this online making money space isn't for me. Or then I'd find a little bit of luck and go all in and then lose all that money again, right? So the good thing for you as somebody who's watching this video and trying to figure out which direction you want to head down is most of these online making money types of methods don't require many credentials, if any. They don't require a lot of startup capital, if any. And the goal is to try and get you started with a business at ground zero. Because look, we've all been there. I've been there many times. I've been in debt and started businesses, borrowed money, basically put it all on the line and lost everything in order to try and make a business successful, because I knew for a fact one thing: I didn't want to work for somebody for the rest of my life. I worked at this job called Wood Ranch Bar and Grill. My boss came in, not my boss, but like my boss's boss, the main owner, the head honcho. He walks in and he pulls up in this brand new Escalade. I'm talking $165,000 badass car. Pulls up, says, hey, how's it going? Walks in, knows everybody in the restaurant, runs the whole shebang. And the next day I have to go deliver food to his house. Okay, I don't know where he lives. I'd never even driven around this community. I pull up to his house. I forgot all the ranches and all the dressings. I open this door, and I'm not kidding you, it was one of the nicest houses I'd ever seen in my entire life. This guy that literally is not working that often, I've never seen him at work. He basically has, hired out all these different people to work for him, and he gets paid more money than anybody else. And I knew from that day forward that I'd no longer wanted to work for anybody ever again if I had the choice. But sacrifices have to be made. And I had to keep working as long as I did so that I could afford to fund these businesses that I was starting. And eventually, a couple of them clicked. So if you're watching this video, then chances are You know, you've been looking on YouTube and on TikTok and on Instagram, all these different platforms to find some way to start making money online. And you've probably stumbled into other creators. I mean, I see them all the time, the Jordan Welch and the Luke Thomar and the Iman Gadzi, Sebastian Georgiou. I mean, a lot of respect to these guys because they've made money a certain way. But the way that they are teaching you how to make money, and I'll tell you from experience, is not necessarily the way that they are making their money. In fact, they're making their money most of the time off of you. And I'm guilty of this as well, and there's nothing really wrong with it. You just need to be clear on how this business actually works. Okay, so I'll give you an example with my program. I am an Airbnb millionaire. I have gone on and made millions of dollars with Airbnb. I own a portfolio that's worth damn near $20 million now and continues to make me money every single month, every single day, every single night when I go to sleep. 3 years ago, I didn't have this. So in 0 to 3 years, I built this business, and throughout this journey, there's been people that have asked me if I could teach them, coach them, help them one-on-one, all these different things. So I built a coaching program around this, right? And so now I have over 2,700 coaching students. My program sells for thousands and thousands of dollars. This program has gone on and made me millions of dollars, which has gone back in and funded my real estate business. It's funded my other types of businesses. And so with full transparency, I want you to understand that this is how the game works. And so it becomes really convoluted and the messages get hard and you see people beefing and going online back and forth with each other about who's right and who's wrong. Well, I'm here to tell you that pretty much anybody who's gone on and done something successful with online business, they're right. I'm right, they're right, he's right, she's right, he's right, they're right. Now, what you have to decide as somebody who is trying to figure out what you want to do is, which path do you want to go down? Iman Gadzi, one of the top creators out there. Again, like I said, a lot of respect to the guy, but we make money in completely different ways. So his coaching program is going to teach you a bunch of different make money online types of ways, like SMMA and copywriting and, you know, fill in the blank. And it becomes confusing when you're trying to decide which route that you want to go. Do I do SMMA? Do I do copywriting? Do I do this? Do I do that? The pricing is set up perfectly for the people that he's going after. Okay, so his program is at $997 because he knows that the 15 to 18 year olds, the tens of millions of you guys that are watching that are in that age group, that's pretty much all that you guys can muster up in terms of money because you're in high school or you're early in college and you don't have that much money. So this whole make money online world, I'm not trying to expose it, but really nobody's kind of pulling the curtain back and saying what it is, because there is nothing wrong with creating a course. There's nothing wrong with online gurus. There's nothing wrong with coaches and courses. The fact is, college is truly a scam, and online coaching is the future. And the reason why I say that is you can buy a program for free or for $997 or for $2,000 or $6,000 or work with somebody one-on-one that's a mentor for $10,000, $15,000. And these people or these coaches or these programs can elevate your game and give you a high income skill that will help you be able to run a business for the legitimate rest of your life, or at least for the next couple of years until you can parlay it into something else. And you know what a college degree will do for most people, for 90% of people that don't go on and become a doctor or a lawyer or something where you actually need this credential to go and be successful? They're going to go work on a normal 9-to-5 job and get stuck in the golden handcuffs, and their boss is going to give them a pat on the ass and a hand job every single year with an extra $1,500 per year, and that's all that they get. $80,000 a year, $70,000 a year. Oh, you know, you've worked for the company for 15 years, 20 years? Okay, well now you're at $100,000 a year, and here's a $5,000 bonus, and hey man, you get to go 3 days or 4 days, we're gonna send you to Cancun, and hey, you know, we're gonna help you with this, and that. It's bullshit. You know, that W-2 life, I'm not trying to hate on it because I was a part of it, but the difference in where I'm at, where I was at before, is I made the decision, I stepped away, you know, and never looked back from earning a W-2 income, and I will never do so again. And it's been the number one change in my life and that I've seen in other people's lives where they can go on and do something special and amazing. So if the problem is not with coaching and online courses and gurus, then what is truly the problem right now? Because there's so many ways to make money, and if all of them work like I'm saying, then what is the actual problem? Well, the problem is young people especially, anywhere between the ages of 15, 16, and 26, 28. They're addicted to making fast money and spending fast money and moving fast with everything that they do. Nothing is long-term anymore, especially not long-term thinking, and that is critical into why the best investors in the world, like Warren Buffett, all that they care about is investing in long-term compounding. So let me give you a great example. You have a kid who learns about copywriting. If you don't know what copywriting is, somebody like myself that tries to create content all day, every day, we run out of ideas. So we go hire somebody who's great at understanding who we are, how we speak, and what message we're trying to get across to help us with creating content. And I may pay somebody like that $2,000 a month to work with me. Well, if they take on 4 clients at $2,000 a month, they're making $8,000 a month without a college degree and really probably not having to work that much every single week. So now they're making $8,000. And then what happens? Now they pick up twice the clients. Now they're making $16,000 a month. They're 6 months into their business and they're 18 years old and they're feeling themselves. You know what they do? They go to Miami, they move into the nicest penthouse. They are going out and popping bottles all the time. They are spending money like it's never going to end. They're not buying anything that's going to hold value. They just bought their first Corvette. Now they're going to sell the Corvette and try and get into a Ferrari or a Lambo because that's what they think that everybody wants to see, and it's easy to get caught up in that fast, flashy next thing. That, my friends, is the problem with shiny object syndrome. And then when the money goes away and they're not really feeling the copywriting and the clients are gone, now what? They move on to the next shiny object. They don't double down on their business. They focus on the next thing that's in front of them every single day, week, and month, and they don't have a 5-month plan, 6-month plan, 1-year plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan. That is the problem with shiny object syndrome. So how can you, as an up-and-coming entrepreneur, as somebody who is finding their way through this entrepreneurial journey and trying to figure out where they stand, what business they'd like to create, where they're going to add value to other people and to this world so that they can make money in return? Well, let me give you some tips. First off, it's time to change the narrative. I'm gonna give you a quote that I learned from Chris Johnson, a great mentor of mine. He says, get money and buy income. What the hell does get money and buy income mean? Well, for starters, when you get money, that means it's money coming in. Historically speaking, if you're working a W-2 job, you would have traded your time in exchange for money. Okay, you would have clocked in hours and received an hourly wage. Now that you're doing this online business and whatever it may be, if you're doing Airbnb like I do and like I teach, which by the way, go ahead and click the link down below and see if you can qualify to work with me. I'd love to be able to work with you. Now, if you decide to work with me, for example, and you start making some money with Airbnb, you make $4,000, $6,000, $8,000 a month. Fantastic. That is money that you're making. And now you need to think of it as a tool, okay? So here's the framework. You need to think of money as a tool that's helping you get to where you want to go. If you're starting at zero and your goal is to get here at the end, which is, let's call it $100,000 a month in passive income, it's possible. I know it sounds crazy, but along the way, you'll have little milestones, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 a month. How do you get there, okay? When you think of money as a tool, then you are not afraid to invest it and spend it. I will give you a hint. I have gone broke dozens of times as a multimillionaire because I invest every single dollar that I make, okay? So when money comes in, I immediately think of it as a tool that I need to go reinvest and go place somewhere else. So if money comes in from my copywriting job, in order for me to make long-term wealth, I know that I need to go place it into real estate. So my $8,000 comes in, I save it up a little bit, I save it up to maybe $50,000, and then bam, I go reinvest it and buy a property that's going to give me $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 a month in passive income or semi-passive income, depending on how you're making your money. This is how I went from rich to actually wealthy. When I started my first really successful business in 2020, it was an online stock trading community. I was making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month teaching other people and sharing my knowledge about investing and trading and connecting people that wanted to learn about trading. This business was spitting off cash flow. I could have easily went out and bought a ton of different stuff that I didn't need, but instead I lived at my parents' house. I was a multimillionaire living in my parents' house, and every dollar that came in, I invested into real estate. I started building my Airbnb business. I bought some Section 8 properties. I did rental arbitrage. And this is how I went from making money that eventually would stop to making money forever. And for me, that's why I love investing in real estate, because it is mailbox money. It is forever money. Think about it like this. The money that you're making right now is not forever money. It's just money that has came in, and now you're blessed with an opportunity to go be able to invest it somewhere else and reap the benefits later on, okay? This is the concept of delayed gratification. You live how they can't live now and invest how they won't invest now so that you can live how they will never live later on. I'll put it to you this way. The people that are spending $10,000 to buy bottle service and tables for chicks every time that they go out, imagine if they use that $10,000 down to go buy an investment property, because yes, you can buy an investment property with $10,000 down, even less if you do create a financing subject to anything like that. But besides the point. Every single house, every single property that I buy, every single Airbnb that I add to my portfolio, I know is getting me one step farther away from ever having to work a normal W-2 job again. In fact, it allows me to travel the world and do everything that I love to do, which is very simple. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I like riding motorcycles, snowboarding, surfboarding, traveling the world, hanging out with friends and family, being able to afford to take my friends and family wherever I want. Technically speaking, I could have done that from the very jump, but then what would I have left now? Let me just tell you a quick story. There was, during my stock trading days, this guy, I'm not gonna name any names because I don't wanna call anybody out, but he seemed like he was on top of the world. He was having these massive trading days. He'd have like a $50,000, $60,000 trade in a day. He had this massive community. He was making millions and millions of dollars, and he was spending millions and millions of dollars. All the cars, all the watches, the houses, the condos, you name it, no investments, spent simply just bottle service, spending the money, private jets, everything. I wasn't doing that, and I'll be honest with you, I was jealous. I felt like, well, hey, I'm making the same amount of money or more probably. Why am I not doing that? And I was reminded, what my long-term goals were. Now let's skip 3 years later. This was like 2021, 2020. Today, it's 2023. We're getting close to 2024. I hear some bad news. I hear that he is dead broke and actually in a lot of debt. He's had to collateralize a lot of his assets and watches and cars and houses and all this shit. A lot of it's been repossessed. When you start going down that path and all of a sudden drugs start coming into the picture, and it gets ugly. It gets very, very ugly. And so now, I'm not trying to say that I'm better than anybody, but I didn't live like that then. But now, I'm living exactly how I want to for the rest of my life, just because what I did with my money for 2 to 3 years. And that's what I want you to be able to understand, is that you can do this too, and you should do this too. Live like they won't live now, so that you can enjoy life like they won't be able to enjoy it later on. The concept is very simple. When money comes in for me, and I'm able to save, let's say $10,000, $20,000, I'm immediately looking to buy a property that is going to pay me out every single month for the rest of my life. Guys, money in the bank is doing nothing, and you have to pay taxes on it. So eventually, if you're making big money, the government's gonna want you to give away anywhere between 37 to 50% of your money every single year. The way that I'm able to mitigate this is through purchasing and investing in real estate as a professional real estate investor. So I pay very little taxes compared to the money that I make, and I'm buying assets that are paying me out every single month. So yes, my money that's in the bank is going away, gone. And now I have to go make that money back. But the amazing thing is, I just bought an asset with that pays me out every single month. So $12,000, maybe it pays me $1,200. In fact, I have some big properties that pay me anywhere between $20,000 to $30,000 a month on Airbnb. You heard that right, $20,000 to $30,000 a month on Airbnb with one property. That will afford my kids to go to private school for the rest of their life, or homeschooled, or whatever it may be. Understand this, online money comes and goes, and online businesses come and go as well. If you think about it like you're somebody that is a rapper or an NBA player, you just got a big contract, you're making good money the first 2 to 3 years, and then boom, you blow your leg out and you can never ever play basketball again. Or if you're a rapper, you have a couple one-hit wonders and then you never make another popular song again. What are you going to do if no more money comes in? Are you going to talk about the good old times you had blowing that money when you were cool for that hot minute? Or are you going to have invested your money wisely into assets that pay you every single month so that you can afford to live for the rest of your life and not go back to the life that you don't want to live in? Now, if you've made it this far in the video, then hopefully you are now a long-term thinker. Hopefully you understand this world of online money making that we're in, and how fast things come and go, and how easy it is to get stuck with analysis paralysis or chasing this golden goose that's impossible to catch. But I want you to be able to build real wealth, generational wealth, that money that you can pass on, those assets you can pass on to generations and to generations. When they talk about those kids that, oh, they got daddy's money. I want you to be daddy. How about that? I want you to be daddy making the real money. Why not you? And that's what I always ask myself is, why not me? Why can't I be the person that changes the trajectory of my family's life? Because it's not going to happen with the money coming in quick and the money going out even quicker. It's going to happen by making that money online, creating an online business, building something with true value, and investing all of that money into assets that will pay you every single day, every single month, every single year. Move your timeline from 5 to 6 days and 5 to 6 weeks to 5 to 6 years and 9 to 10 years. That is how you're truly going to build long-term generational wealth. If you've resonated with this video and you enjoy this message that I'm sharing, I have created a free tool for you. I'm not going to charge you anything for it. If you click the link down below, you should see it. It is a 100% free Airbnb guide. This is my step-by-step playbook that I used. It's like a 17, 18-minute video and a 4 or 5 page download that you can have for free. I'm not gonna ask for anything except for your email so that I can send you a newsletter, and that's it. So if you wanna download that and figure out the true steps that I've taken myself to go from $0 to a couple $1 million per year with Airbnb, and wanna learn the ropes and just see if it's right for you. No strings attached. Grab that down below. Otherwise, I'm Mr. FourToEight. They call me Blake Rocha, and I'll see you in the next video.